us out over here. Kim. All right, thank you. Okay, and the lights are back. Okay. All right. Who's been selling on eBay for more than 10 years? Awesome. Wow, that's a lot. 15 years? More than 20 years? We have a couple here. More than 25 years?
No,
I don't think it's been around that long. Yeah.
We're excited to be here today. Is this eBay Open first timers? Anyone first timers? We have second timers?
Yeah!
Yes, and a third timer? All right. Okay, awesome. Well, we love this event. We're excited to have you here with us. My name's Devin Payne. I'm in our business selling team. We're joined up here by Kim White, who's on our paid search team. We know you don't want to hear from us necessarily. We have our Google partners here. So we have our Google guys. Yeah. We didn't get one of those rounds of applause. We know that everyone wants to hear Google, so we're going to pass it over to them to give them the bulk of the time, which is who everyone wants to hear. They've been fantastic, great guests. We're just really happy to have them here with us. We are going to talk about how eBay and Google shopping ads specifically work together, and how you can optimize your listings to be available on Google shopping ads. We're going to take care of all the money, the data feed for you. We just need you to make sure you optimize your listings so that they're not rejecting the listing that comes across. So last year we talked about the perfect listing. That was a very eBay-centric presentation where it was how do you get found, how do you drive clicks, and then how do you close the sale. Now we're doing this with a wider lens on not just the eBay ecosystem. What things do you do to get seen on Google? So this is very specific to Google. These are their slides. We didn't plant any of this. This is all them. And so we'll turn it over to them. But before that, Kim is going to talk about what eBay is doing on your behalf in order to make sure that you get Google visibility.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Kim White. Thank you for letting me take a selfie. I lead up the global operations and performance for paid search at eBay. So my team's responsible for taking the listings that we create on eBay and surfacing them on Google via Google Shopping and getting people to see them, click on them, come to the site, and ultimately to buy. So basically my team is focused on getting visibility for you guys on Google to customers that are interested in buying your products. And while we focus on visibility for you guys, I'm not sure how much visibility you have into the fact that this is a benefit from being on the platform. So I wanted to give you a couple of quick numbers. eBay spends hundreds of millions of dollars annually in advertising our listings on Google. We represent more than 2 million sellers and nearly 1 billion listings. So it's a massive program. In fact, we're one of the largest top Google shopping advertisers. And so this is an amazing benefit for you guys, but I'm not here just to talk about the benefit, I'm here to talk about the opportunity. So despite the fact that we submit every single item that's buy it now to Google and bid on it, so it's eligible to pay for shopping ads, with a few exceptions related to adult content and paraphernalia and gambling. There's a couple of other criteria that we have to filter for, but outside of that, we submit every buy it now listing to Google. 13% of the items that we submit to Google do not meet their criteria. And so it's a missed opportunity for you guys, and it's a missed opportunity for eBay. So we've invited Google here today to come talk to you guys about some very simple things you can do when you're creating your listings to ensure that you guys meet their criteria and you're able to take advantage of the millions of dollars that eBay is spending on your behalf.
Thanks, guys. Hello, everyone. My name is Albert Chan, and I lead the team that manages the partnership with eBay at Google. This is my colleague, Mason. So we are here to talk about two topics. As you can see here, one around how Google Shopping ads use product contents, and then also how to optimize your listings to drive clicks and ultimately drive conversions. What I want to do first, actually, is make sure that everyone's on the same page, that we're grounded on the different types of ads that show up on the Google results page. Okay? So think of it as two different types of end of the spectrum. One where a query that a consumer or user types in that is more of a mid to longer term purchase intent. Things like, what is an iPhone? When is the next iPhone launch? That is a little bit more of a longer term purchase intent versus if someone were to type in iPhone 10, 32 gigs, white, AT&T provider, etc. The Google algorithm believes that that query is probably more of a short-term purchase intent. It's almost to buy that phone immediately. So for the longer intent one, the type of ad that will surface is a text ad usually. Text ads, I'm sure we're all familiar, just in case folks aren't, it's the blue title, black descriptions. Those will surface typically for the mid to longer term search queries, like when is an iPhone launch, which is still part of the shopping journey, just not an immediate purchase consideration zone. Versus if someone were to type in a more of a longer tail type of query with longer, more immediate purchase intent, then a shopping ad would surface. How many of you are familiar with shopping ads? Okay, good. So a couple of things to call out in regards to some of the features of the shopping ad. Number one is the image. It also has a description of, a title. It has a price, the retailer's name, and also a unique identifier like free shipping, user ratings, etc. Mason will talk about here in a moment some of the kind of best practices when it comes to when you submit your listing, things to think about in regards to your image, your title, etc. Again, this is what surfaces when Google's algorithm has a pretty high level of confidence that the user who is typing in their query has more of an immediate type of purchase intent. The one on the right actually is when Google has an even higher level of confidence that this user is wanting to find that particular product, then usually a knowledge graph will show up. Okay? Nothing that you can do differently, it's just a matter of Google has a higher level of confidence that the user wants that product. But just in case it gets it wrong, there are similar products which are recommended on the bottom as well. Now, if I draw your attention back to the monitor, if you notice the tabs underneath the search bar above the shopping unit, you see things like all, shopping, images, etc. Typically, most folks stay until the all tab. However, in my personal opinion, I believe one of the biggest opportunities I guess under the secrets is actually the shopping tab. You can get to that by clicking it or by clicking called View All Sellers and Prices. But the reason why the shopping tab is so powerful is because it allows the user to then kind of drill down on certain attributes such as brand, price, etc., to really drill down to the product that they want. Therefore, when they click that item, it's a more qualified traffic to the retailer sites like eBay. And so when Mason mentions and talks about kind of the hygiene and why it's important to have all of these, it's really also going to be very beneficial when people are shopping via the shopping tab. Speaking of high level of engagement type of experiences, mobile. Okay, we all know that mobile is extremely important in the shopping journey, right? In many categories, mobile queries have actually surpassed desktop queries. Right? If we think about just our personal use, when we're looking for fashion or electronics categories, we're probably doing most of those searches on our mobile phones these days than we are in desktop. A couple of things I want to call out in kind of the user experience and what they see when it comes to smartphones is, first off, the real estate that the shopping unit covers is much bigger, obviously. And instead of showing 5 or 6 different products in the shopping unit, it's only showing 2.5 or 3. However, the user is able to scroll through that carousel, both on desktop and on mobile, to up to 30 products. Okay? However, by no surprise, the first 2 to 3, the first 3 to 6 or so on desktop will have a higher CTR click-through rates than the ones later on that you can scroll through. I'll now turn it over to Mason to kind of walk us through this journey of what happens when you submit your listing to what shows up on Google and some best practices that you can think about.
Thanks, Albert. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mason. I am a shopping technical specialist. My entire job is completely relative to shopping ads only, and what I really focus on is getting into the nitty-gritty of why we can, why we can't, and how we can improve getting shopping ads more relevant for the user, and how we can get your specific eBay listings in front of a user as well. So, obviously, to get an eBay listing in front of a user on Google Shopping Ads, it requires data from you. It requires the basics. We need titles, descriptions, images, unique product identifiers like Albert was going over. We really want to make sure that when we gather that information from you, we don't have to actually try to change or not show something on Google Shopping. So, when we do this, this is your entire job, and what we're asking of you is that you give us really good, rich data that we can almost unadulterated, if you will, show on Google Shopping, so we don't have to cut off too much of the title, and I'll get into how we do this in a little bit. eBay takes all of these billion offers and they give it to us in a feed form that we can digest, and they submit this humongous set of files to us. I think it's literally just under 8 billion offers, and what we'll then do is set the ad targeting, make sure that they're showing the specific eBay offers in the right places and the right users are actually seeing that. Google takes all of that information and makes it a little bit more refined. We make sure that it actually shows differently on mobile devices as opposed to desktop devices, or the different ad formats that Albert was talking about. This is the essentials of what makes a Google Shopping ad. So if you look about product type, product title, color, additional images, price, availability, these are basics. We need all of this information from an eBay listing to make a Google Shopping ad. So if any of this, like the description or the image or the availability or the color, is not of high quality, Google might not actually have the ability to show that live. If we think about product type, if we think about images, these are the really important facets that eBay on the product type end is really leveraging internal systems when you enter in information to your product listing, so that Google can turn that information into something that would always make your item show only when the user's ready to try to purchase it. We're obviously improving this every single day on Google's end, but it helps with the data that you give us to be more accurate, to be more precise. Images, which I'll get to in a second, is obviously one of the more unique facets of a shopping ad, because it's one of the only ad formats that is completely based on an image in some interactions or some actual user interactions. Some users don't look at the price, some users don't look at the actual title, some users, if you have a beautiful image, will click through to your website just because it's a beautiful image. And we don't want to lose any part of that interaction, so we really would love high quality images. We can start this thing too. So, Kim mentioned a couple of opportunities and 13% of items that are being sold through or submitted through to Google Shopping that we don't have the ability to sell yet on Google Shopping, or show, I should say. The reason is because there are some specifics in the titles and the descriptions. There are some specifics on the image end, and there are some specifics on the unique product identifier end that we just can't use, and I'll go over those. Does anybody know what a unique product identifier off the top of their head is? Yeah? Okay, cool. GTINs, MPNs, you guys have heard these words before, I hope. So I'll get into exactly what they are and how you can submit them, but these are the 3 things that we're talking about. First, images. Right now, we really recommend any image that's around 800 by 800 resolution. So if you have the ability to submit these larger, high-quality images, the reason we want to do this is because an image that is of higher quality has a much higher likelihood that the user will click through to the actual site or the actual ad. So most users won't even try to go to your ad if there's a low-quality image on it. So if you're submitting images that are of the resolution 250 by 250, very low likelihood that the user will end up on your page, or your listing, I should say. Second, if you have the ability to use a uniform color background, white or transparent is preferred, but uniform color in general, that's much preferred and has a higher click-through rate, if you will, or the ability to be clicked on, than some image that has a background that has a backyard in the background, or might have a checkered background or something like that. Those images are much, much less likely to be clicked on, so if you can provide transparent, white, solid color backgrounds, that would be preferred. Second, or third I should say, the single unit. What this means, showing a single unit of the product, is actually, if you're selling a pair of sunglasses and you have a pair of shoes or a jacket to complement the sunglasses in that, Google Shopping doesn't like that format simply because we want to make sure that the user isn't thrown off by the other products in the image. If you're selling a pair of sunglasses, we only want that pair of sunglasses to be shown in the image and highlighted. Image don'ts continued, if you will. So, promotional text and logos. First of all, if you have a logo that's on a shirt, like this Google logo on the shirt, that's obviously fine. It's part of the shirt. I have the ability to buy the shirt with the logo on it. That's okay. What I mean by this is if you have logos or watermarks in the margins around the images or even parts of the product, but it's not naturally part of the product, Google won't serve this ad. So part of those 13% of items that we can't show on Google Shopping right now have these watermarks or some text in the images. If it says www.xyz.com anywhere in the image and it's not part of the actual product, we won't show that on Google Shopping, unfortunately. So you're getting the visibility on eBay, but you're not necessarily getting the visibility through Google. The other one is placeholder. Placeholder images are really referring to something if it were out of stock or if you didn't have the ability to show a specific unique image. Imagine most of the placeholder images we see at Google are out of stock. It'll actually say out of stock and it'll just be like an image that says that. We won't serve that ad, obviously, but if it's not an out of stock item, sometimes there are stock photos for a pair. Instead of showing the actual Nike shoe that you're on, it'll show a generic looking black and white shoe. We won't accept those images for Google Shopping, so we really need an actual product to be in that image that is identical to what you're selling. How many people know what the first thing is? Raise your hands. Hopefully a lot. Okay, so GTINs or UPC codes, more commonly referred to, is a really integral part of a shopping ad. The reason that is because in a not so great world where a shopping ad might not have the best title or might not have the best description, we have the ability through a global trade item number to actually know exactly what type of item it is. So if you submitted an item that said black shoe and the description said really cool shoe, it's not necessarily going to be a top result on Google Shopping because it's not going to be queried, it's not going to be relevant for most users. But if you're submitting this GTIN or this UPC code and we know what variation of Nike shoe or Adidas shoe that this actually is, we can qualify that better and we can show it to more relevant users so folks can actually buy your product and end up on your listing. Second is a manufacturer part number, MPN. Hopefully, how many MPN, you guys know what an MPN is? Hopefully, please. Okay. The MPN is the manufacturer part number. These are really specific to each manufacturer. Each manufacturer will make these. If it exists, you should hopefully be able to pass it to eBay in your eBay listing so Google can use it for our survey purposes as well. It just matches products easier. If a product has an MPN and you don't submit the MPN, it won't actually show on Google Shopping. Google will say, we know this product has an MPN, or we know this product has a GTIN, or we know this product has a brand, so we won't show it unless you submit it. Now, if your products don't have a GTIN, or if they don't have an MPN, you don't need to give them to us. We're not asking anyone to make up anything. That's not what we would like. We really just want the values when they exist. Titles. So titles are obviously very important. Titles are what show, I don't know if you've seen the format that, obviously Albert shows you a couple of live formats. It was a little hard to see the titles in those smaller images, but the title is the only descriptive that usually shows on the first Google search engine results page. So most of the time on the search engine results page, descriptions don't actually show, it's just parts of the title. You'll notice on mobile devices and a lot of desktops too that have smaller screens, we're talking about the 11-inch, 13-inch, and 15-inch screen sizes sometimes. They don't show the entire 160 character title. That's just because we run out of screen real estate, we want to show other ads next to each other. So the first 70 to 90 characters within your title are the most important, and if you really want something to pop out, if you want something to actually stick to the user and what they're searching for, there's a specific structural reference in the next slide that we need to stick to. The other thing is that you have to be sure that, and this seems obvious, but you'd be surprised at some of the titles that we get submitted, you have to make sure that it flows and it's easily readable. So if there's a complex item that you're selling, I'm not exactly sure what that might be, so I won't guess. But if there's an item that is not necessarily easily described, we hope to try to make it just read well in the first 70 to 90 characters. I'll get into a specific structure that will help hopefully in the very next slide. It's really important to actually include age groups, genders, petite, plus size if you're selling apparel. Some descriptive that would make a specific shirt or piece of apparel different than any other regular apparel. So if someone's searching for a petite size something, hopefully when they search for that shirt, your item sells. For shoes, I should say. Alright, this is the title optimization structure slide. It's really important. If you have the ability to take a picture, you should. The Apparel, so these are all different product categories. These are all the different actual recommendations that we have from a Google perspective as it pertains to shopping ads, which will likely help you a lot in your eBay listings, I might add. That if you wanted to make sure that everything was showing consistently and that the users were really getting the items that they wanted, these are the title searches that you have. A couple of calls here. The first is a strong brand name. What a strong brand name means in apparel specifically is that if you're selling a shoe and it's a Nike shoe, hopefully Nike is in the first word of your listing, because if you're just selling a black shoe, size 11, but then you're describing some of the shoe, it's probably not going to show for as many relevant queries as Nike shoe would. We do know from a Google perspective, from your UPC code that you're submitting, that it is indeed a Nike shoe. But if you put that Nike shoe in the title of every other advertiser around you is, the likelihood of it getting picked out is much lower. Another one is, when you're looking in the electronics section, you're going to want to pay attention to manufacturer part numbers. So those NPNs, in this specific example is a Samsung TV, UN88JS, blah, blah, blah. That's specific to a TV model. Now, weirdos like me actually search for those specific model numbers all the time. I will go onto Google and put in only the NPN for a specific TV model. I've done it before, especially with Sony TV, and it won't show anything if you don't have that information. If you submit the NPN in the NPN section, we will have the ability to query it. If it's in the title of those specific TVs or cell phones, we will actually be more likely to show it as well. Color and apparel providing color for apparel and accessories. So this specific optimization is actually relevant for specific types of colors that different products have. Imagine we're in a situation where a shoe manufacturer only calls a specific color by a specific name. So instead of saying blue, we're talking about like ice blue, or instead of saying gray, we're talking about space gray, maybe a phone. Or instead of saying something normalized, we're saying something non-normalized, but it's specific. It's that brand's way of doing it. If you can replicate that in a specific attribute, it helps when your ads perform on Google Shopping. If you have apparel and accessories that include something else, like sunglasses or handbags, and it's actually part of that grouping, noting that in the title is really recommended to you, by the way, just to take on. All right, thanks for listening to me. I want to bring up Devin again. He's going to talk about a little bit of eBay specifics for speed video.
Let's give it up for Google, yeah? I was trying to decide what gets more photos taken of it, the Eiffel Tower or a Google tile optimization slide. I think we had 99% of you taking pictures. That was awesome. I loved it. So now you've done all this work, right? You've taken an order from your manufacturer, your wholesaler. It's come to your place of business. You've taken the right picture. You've added the right title, the right identifiers. eBay takes it, we then send it over to Google, and you are one of the lucky ones that gets picked, that gets bid on and taken. And it's a new Google buyer who's never been on eBay, but they're shopping on Google, so they land on your listing. And when they land on your listing, they see at the top of the listing description, zero feedback, buyers don't buy, right? Does anyone have that on there? That's a disclaimer we want to avoid. So sweeten the offer to make sure that once you've done all the work, and eBay's done the work, and Google's done the work, to get you that coveted click, that once they arrive at your listing and primed and ready to make a purchase, that we're not putting any deterrence in their way. If they click on the minimal information they see on the Google Shopping ad, and they get in and they see shipping's $10, it's going to take 15 days to get to me, and there's no return policy. What do you think might happen at that point? They'll probably leave, right? And then go back to Google Shopping and look at somebody else. So it's really important that we don't just focus on getting found, we also have to focus on closing the deal once it's there. And the confidence you show in your return policy is gonna let them know how confident they can be in making the purchase. I understand that there are some industries where return policy isn't the easiest thing to do, but as much as you can, try to be a leader in your industry on return policy, shipping, and delivery, getting it there as soon as possible. And then anything else you can throw on as far as charity to show buyers what you're doing, that will only increase your chances of a sale. We have to realize that it has to be bigger than eBay for us to grow, right? We can't just be looking at eBay's ecosystem. We need new buyers. Our CEO just yesterday spoke about going from 175 million to 500 million buyers. And to do that, we have to have external sources bringing in new buyers with zero feedback and turning them into the awesome eBay community that we already have. So, did anybody out there get mad at us in 2015 when we required product identifiers? Anyone? No, I heard some laughter, yes, maybe. I got some of those phone calls. Now you know why we did that. In 2015, we started requiring product identifiers in many categories. Since then, we've now started grouping items together. If you look at the top right section of our eBay search, you'll see grouped similar listings in many cases. Many of the queries you'll see that. We're taking that product identifier information to group them together and to make the shopping experience much easier for a buyer. The faster they can buy, the better it is for all of us, right? Come in, make a purchase, come back, make another purchase. And that's why in 2018, some of you may have been to this workshop already, our focus is on the eBay catalog. So essentially making it so that you can pick a product from our catalog, hit add product, and we've done the title optimization, we've done the product identifiers, and we've done the image with the white background for you. That's where we're getting. In the meantime, we just need everyone's help to make sure that we turn that 13% rejection number down to 0%, so that everything we send to Google is being shown on the Google Shopping ads. So in summary, it takes all of us, right? It takes your optimized data. We can only send what we get. We can't look for UPCs on your behalf. Whatever we get is what we send in our data feed. So your optimized data plus the investment we're making in you in the form of millions of dollars and in the form of structuring all the data, that equals Google visibility, which is essentially global visibility, and that brings new buyers to you and to eBay, and we all get together. So I want to make sure we have time for Q&A. So we're gonna have 16 minutes for Q&A. We're gonna bring Google back up and Kim back up and ask anything you'd like for the next 60 minutes and 28 seconds. Thank you.